Welcome, Alfie, Jen, DJ duo, superstars, absolutely smashing it. Thank you for joining me today. How are you both?
We're good.
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 Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. Do you mind sharing a little bit about who you both are and how you got to being where you are as a DJ duo?
Yeah. Well, we're Jen Getz and Alfie. We play together all over the world, and we met here in Dubai. What, 5 years ago now?
4 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. And we just played. We started as just kind of like jamming together, and our energy is really good together. And we just it was not necessarily not serious at the beginning, but we were just kind of like playing around, and then it just turned into this giant project, and here we are today.
Yeah, it was like a COVID-born creation when we couldn't DJ. So we just started messing around like in empty restaurants, like just going back to back and stuff. And then it's kind of snowballed into this artist career that we've got now, which is amazing.
Awesome. And so you're both from the UK originally?
Yes.
Whereabouts?
So I'm from the Midlands, a little place called Worcester.
Nice.
Yep.
And I'm from Surrey, just down from London.
Cool. And
Yeah.
like you both were DJing before you came to Dubai separately and...
Yeah, so I started off my career in the UK, was playing around different cities in the UK, and then got offered a residency in Dubai nearly 5 years ago. So that's why I moved over here. And then obviously we met during COVID. And then, yeah, that's where we are now.
And I was living in Bali before, and then I learned to DJ in Bali, and then I moved over here, and then we met at a brunch actually. After COVID, they put on these like free brunches for DJs because we didn't work for so long.
Yeah.
So we kind of knew of each other, but we'd never actually met each other because I wasn't in the country. So we went to the brunch and we just met. We were talking about anxiety and that kind of thing, and then we just kind of like bonded there, and then just this idea was born, and we thought no one else is doing it, so let's do it, basically.
And you guys have just smashed it, haven't you? You've gone global. I was looking at your Instagram, the amount of countries you were in last year, and I was like, what the fuck? How did that happen in 4 years?
Honestly, I don't even know. Like, I think we started playing in Dubai, so we started residency together here. And then we were warming up for so many big acts, like every single week, like Jamie Jones, Fatboy Slim, like every single week. So we were learning how to be like a good warm-up DJ, which is quite a big thing that you need to learn. And then we started like gravitating towards the production side of things. And we started branching out and networking, going to like Miami Music Week and things like that, starting to get more into the scene rather than just being the resident DJs. And I think it was when we got our agent that it just kind of exploded for us. And she just got us so much work in so many different countries, and it was insane. Like, wow. I think people started like buying into the brand a little bit more as well and taking us a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely when we started producing the music and signing the music. So we had a little trick, like we would play our new tracks in the DJ booth before the artist would come on. And then be like, do you like the song? This is ours, we need someone to sign it. And that's how we did it. We signed the first like 3 or 4 like that. And then when we got one, it was a total new world for us because we didn't know what we were doing. We were just like, we've got this music and we want to like let people hear it. And we don't know how we get signed. Like, we don't know if we should get paid for a track. We don't know like what percentage is the label, like we didn't know anything about it, so we just kind of like started from zero and just learned as we went along. And
that's quite bold, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like some of the people you were playing with and you're just like, hey, listen to my track. Like it's a bold way to do it.
The whole club, and was just like, and they'd be like, I mean, basically they were just like, yeah, we'll take it kind of thing, and we'd like follow up with a DM or whatever, and then that's how we did it. So we were in a really lucky position to warm up for all these people and meet them. And yeah.
Wow. And that must have been like, was that nerve-wracking? What was that experience like for you guys?
I think at the beginning it was quite nerve-wracking because some of these people were like, they're literally like inspirations. Like you've grown up listening to their music and stuff like that. And then gradually as it carried on, you kind of settle into it. I still get nervous now, like playing different places. Every time we go to a new country, I'll still get nervous because you just don't know what you're going into. But it's good nerves. It's like butterflies. Like it's exciting, you know.
Yeah, we used to get so nervous
Yeah.
and drink so much tequila.
Yeah.
And like, but now I think more for me, like what I get nervous with now is like the stages that we play on are so big sometimes, and like the sound system is so different from a club. Like when we played a big gig and we did a sound check before, and we'd never played on a like production size that big, and like the speakers and like you have to have the booth so loud, and it's crazy. So it's that kind of thing that makes me nervous now. It's like you don't know, like what Alfie said, what you're walking into.
Yeah.
Like we know the music, but it's like everything else that comes with it.
Have you ever messed up on like a really big gig?
I don't know how can you mess up, you're human. Like maybe you like clang a mix here and there, but normally
I remember,
not.
okay, and the reason why I say that, I remember what I did once. I was dating a DJ. He wasn't a big name DJ or anything, but we were in a big club in Brighton. And this was like in my 20s when I used to drink quite a bit. And I'd had a little bit too much to drink. And midway through his set, I spilled a drink over the
Oh no.
And it was okay for like about like 5 minutes. And then one of the decks blew up, and he just had this one there, and they had to like change it over mid-set. Yeah, no, I never got to live that down. Even to this day.
I'm surprised you'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I was in serious trouble.
Yeah, nothing quite like that has happened
Well,
to
the
us.
decks mess up sometimes, don't they? And then you have to like swap them out. But because there's two of us, we have two on each side, so it's quite easy to swap out.
You kind of just deal with it.
Yeah.
Like if the crowd doesn't notice, then it's fine.
Yeah, like what can you do wrong? And what's it been like in Dubai? Because you're both like two good-looking young females, right?
Young.
Young. Well, you look young. But how old are you both?
Oh, stage age or real age? That's a secret.
What do you want to be? How old do you want to be?
Well, I'm 32,
Nice.
so
Yeah, same.
I don't feel
That's
like
young.
It's
Yeah.
young-ish.
Ish.
But when people guess, they say 25 or 27,
Yeah.
which is good because we're small.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have that mystery about you.
Yeah.
But like, what's that been like? Because being here culturally as women in the industry, has that been challenging at all?
When I first moved here, I hated it. Like I really, really struggled. I think it was like the cultural thing, and it was being blonde, and it was like, I went to the mall when I first moved here, and I just, like, I didn't know. Like, so, like, sometimes people would stare or whatever, and I got so self-conscious that I just didn't go out for ages because it really freaked me out. But now it is what it is. Like you respect the culture, and the circles that we move in now are just so musical and part of like the going out scene and things like that, that it's totally different. Like, and there is a scene coming up now as well, like a music scene. Like more of it is growing loads. When I first moved here, there wasn't really much going on. But there's so much happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely changed like a lot. And like with the whole women thing, like obviously the music industry in general is a boys' club. We all know it. And you have to work harder for longer for people to take you more serious. But then you are met with like these other kind of like female DJs that will DJ like in a bikini or something, whereas like we're like an artist, so it's different, and it is kind of like a constant battle to like be taken seriously and be respected and stuff like that. But we've had a good experience in Dubai. The circles are small with like the DJs and stuff, so I would say we've had like everyone's very supportive, which is nice.
And would you say you've ever experienced, like, obviously, like, there's a kind of wave of pushing forward female talent across all industries, like corporate, you know, everything. Would you ever say that you've been booked on the basis of being a woman and being women?
Oh, this is like a discussion, isn't it? In the
Someone
industry at
asked
the
this
moment.
question the other day. I don't think we personally have.
And we wouldn't want to be.
No, you don't want to be that token.
No, definitely not.
No, but I know it does happen. Like it is, like pretty DJ girl will get booked just to be a face of a lineup, which is not good. I really like, for me, I don't really like the term female DJ. Like it really bugs me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're just a DJ. Like you wouldn't call a male DJ male DJ.
No,
like, they're just a DJ, you know?
DJ.
Like,
yeah.
I think it should just be based on talent, and if you're talented, you'll get to where you want to be anyway. But yeah, there is just a bit of a stigma around female DJs. I just said it then, yeah.
No, but totally.
But yeah.
I suppose like it like anything, do you think there are women that kind of using that to push themselves forward as well?
100%.
That's why we have to fight harder to be taken seriously, like in the artist lane that we've gone into. Because if you look on the lineups for festivals and stuff, like there isn't a heap of girls. It's mostly men, and that's the whole thing about putting like the token girls on the lineup, just so they're like, oh yeah, we've got a girl who support women or whatever, which just is a reason we wouldn't want to be booked for. But then they put the girls on first, which is even worse, because then it's like the girls play first when it's quiet, and then the guys play, and it's just so infuriating. But it's like we just want to earn our stripes for being like good at what we're doing in all areas, like not just because we're two women.
So how do you go about doing that?
Just got to prove them wrong, haven't you, really? Like, you just keep going. Like, I think, yeah, the way we're progressing in our career and sort of the bookings that we're getting are not because we're females. Yeah. Like, I think it's gaining respect of people in the industry and proving that you are there because you are talented and because you have this musical gift and things like that. So I think it's just pushing through, just keep going. Like, don't stop just because you're not getting the bookings. Like, they will come. Just, it's not because of your, like, gender.
But it's like really sad truth as well. Like with us, is like we won't take, like we can't post pictures of us like if you've got like your boobs out or whatever. Like I don't have giant boobs, but like we've got to be really careful in that kind of thing what we post, because like one post like that, it's just kind of like destroys everything that we've been like building, if that makes sense. So we do have to really think about it as well, like that kind of like boobie
I think it's a
thing.
Great point, isn't it? It's like how do you be intentional about what you put out there, and how intentional are you? Do you guys like look through pictures together with your agent? And
no, just with us.
I think it's more like, it's not like we can't, it's just that we choose not to. Yeah. Because it's the image you put out there. Like, it's annoying because you should be able to post whatever you want. Like, I don't like,
sorry, you've got boobs.
Yeah, like it's just like one of those things. But they're not going to take you as seriously if your Instagram's just loads of you in a bikini and whatnot.
Yeah,
they're instantly going to put you in a category that's not right, even though you might be extremely talented. It's so annoying.
You know, it's hot in Dubai. You can't wear like a jacket all the time, and we play so many shows like in the heat or in the day or whatever. But it's like you post a picture of, I mean, we don't DJ in bikinis, obviously, but like you just got to be careful. Like, we're intentional, but not too much. But we just know what kind of image we want to have and what we do have, and it's just authentic. Like, and that's kind of it.
And I think it's great self-awareness, isn't it? Like that whole movement of it doesn't matter, my body, my choice, I'll put it out there. If you're marketing yourself and you're putting yourself out there as a brand, it does matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your like Instagram and the way that you've shown up is super intentional, and you guys look like you're very fun. You look like you're having just great vibes. How would you advise someone, if they're building their personal brand for DJing or anything, go about like looking at what they're putting out there?
I think the authenticity has to be there. Like, don't try and be something that you're not. And I mean, if someone wants to DJ with their body out, do your thing, but just know that it's going to come with a backlash of not being respected, or which is so annoying, and it shouldn't be like that, but that's just the way that the industry is right now. I mean, if Peggy Goo turned around tomorrow and was DJing in a bikini, no one would really say anything because she's Peggy Goo, but she's already made her name. But if you're starting out, I think you need to make it about the music and about like why you're so talented, not physicality kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I guess we're, as women, if we make it more general, we're then being, like you said, judged and graded on talent and expertise and excellence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just wild, really, isn't it, when you think about it? But I think just like for us, it's like we've never thought like, what do we want to portray ourselves as being? We've never had that conversation. Like we've never even really had a conversation about branding. Like I am me and Alfie is Alfie, and like together we are Jen Getz and Alfie, and that's who we are. And like we have a laugh and we don't take everything really seriously or anything really. Like it's all just like we're just having loads of fun, and that's how it's always been. Like obviously like you would think about some things more than others, but it's just total like this is us.
Oh yeah, like our posts are not like planned to a T. Like we don't like we have to pose in this way so it looks like this. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's just like in terms of the physical side of things, I guess.
And people like relatability.
Totally.
And like I think we're just like two really normal people like doing what we want to do, and that's what people like because they can get it. And like sometimes we'll have a show where there's like 30,000 people, and sometimes we'll play and there'll be no one there because like that's just how it is. So it's just about like being kind of like real about it, and just being as normal as possible, I think.
And when you do argue, surely you guys argue over stuff. What mostly comes up?
We don't argue. Okay, it's like a sister relationship. You get pissed off with people and things when we spend like 7 days a week with each other. We travel together. We stay in the same hotel room mostly. We've got to speak like 24 hours a day because we're building this business together, and we're also like best mates. So like it's a lot of stuff.
It's normal. It happens.
Yeah. Weird not to, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. And we do work with a coach as well. So every few months or 6 months or whatever, we'll bring everything and we'll figure it out like that. But we've never had like giant blow ups like that. Like we kind of good at communicating and learning how to do that and that kind of thing.
And do you agree on everything musically?
No, but I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Because then we can kind of make a blend of a sound that we both like. I mean, we like different music now anyway. Like we'll listen to different things as it is, but I think that's a good thing. I don't think that's a negative. I think you can just use that as a positive because you can take all the different influences and blend it together when we're working together, which is good.
And we're just not the same person, you know. We are two different people that have come together to do this. And like what Alfie said, it's like blending the two styles together to create a new one. And like Alf likes a lot more like deeper stuff, and I like a lot more like vocally stuff. And it's like, but when we're producing, we put those two styles together, and we've got a folder of demos at the moment, and they're amazing. Like they're unreal, but they don't sound like anything else because it's like two people together rather than one, if that makes sense.
And is the process like so much longer creating music together, bringing that, or have you kind of got it quite slick now?
We've got it down, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's longer. I think it's actually easier because we can make decisions like, do you like this? No. Okay, we go back to it. Like, do you like this? Yes, yes. Okay, done. Like, that's how we kind of work it.
Look, this is like a project for both of us, and it's about both of us. So we can't go ahead if we both don't agree. Like she could really love a drum and I could really hate a noise. And so we can't use it. And like, that's just how we are. It's fair. It's 50-50. You know, we're doing this together. It's not like I don't want to play out a tune that I hate and she doesn't want to play out a tune that she hates just because the other one like it. So it also makes it more creative because then we've got to find a way that we both agree, which again is like two styles together, which is amazing.
Yeah. And I know before we came on camera, we were talking about the way that your music style is kind of changing and evolving. How is that going to show up and how has it shown up?
Different labels, I think. Like we started in a certain thing, and your music evolves with time, and it's authentically becoming like what we want it to be. And just like in general, your fashion sense changes, your music sense changes. Like, so that's what's going on now.
Yeah, and I think going around like different countries as well, and like being involved in different kinds of music, and like just hearing different music kind of influences you and how you want to play as well. Like we started out very kind of new, and then now I feel like we've evolved and we're quite, what's the word? It's about educating yourself on music as well. Like I listen to a lot of music all the time, but then there's different genres of music that you don't listen to. And then you kind of just dip in and you think, oh, you could use that in a track, or you could use this, or like I take influence from like 80s music because I love 80s music.
Yeah, she listens to it in Ibiza. And,
Like I love it.
We'll go out. It's like 80s
love it.
music.
Love that.
But then recently I've got more into like deep tech music and stuff like that. It's just from like what you listen to, you know, and then you'll just go off into tangents and be like, this track is like this track and this artist plays this, and it's just about educating yourself constantly. Like there's so much music out there.
And you guys are releasing a new brand, aren't you?
Yeah, so we love like underground, like house, tech, minimal, like there's just so many genres these days, and like we're really passionate about like that kind of like smaller environments, which is, you know, how do you explain it? Like the atmosphere is totally different when people are there for the music. Yeah, and like we play so many shows all over the world, and the intimate venues are just like the best ones. So this brand is like our like kind of hearts on the dance floor. Like it's what we want to play, whether people like what we want to play, not about anyone else. Like we're not doing a job. This is like what we want to be doing. So yeah, it's exciting.
So it's going to be like events, our own events that we're throwing, which I think has been a long time in the making. Like we've done so many residencies and stuff here, but we've never actually thrown our own party, like our own event. So this is just us presenting, basically, hoping that people will come.
And is it a weekly
It will
thing?
be. No, the launch is on the 25th. Our brand is called 8008. It will be a clothing brand also, and like a label in the future, but we're starting with parties, and we're just going to like, again, authentically grow this brand however it decides it was going to grow. But yeah, we're launching it, intimate venue, 150 people to 200. And we're just going to showcase, like, we've got 2 other really cool artists on the lineup. Just in the vibe that we want to be like putting out there, basically.
And why AWA?
So first of all, a drama is an 808, but also if the inspiration came from if you write on a calculator, boob. Yeah, and like this kind of like, we're not playing into like the whole we're women kind of thing, but we like, it's like homage, you know, like 808 is a drum, 808 is that, and we just wanted to like play with that, and it won't be obvious when you look at it, you know, the label, but that's like where the idea came from.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
And what venue is it going to be at, if anyone's in Dubai?
It's at Vinyl.
Nice.
So it's over on Blue Water on the 25th of January. Is that right? 25th? Yeah. That'll be the first one. I think we'll probably look to maybe do like once a month or maybe once every 2 weeks. Depends on how it goes and things. It won't be a weekly thing, but it will just be a small, intimate event every now and then, just so we can kind of get a feel and like put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
So obviously we've still got other gigs and things.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you guys are traveling like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what is the difference for you as artists playing in front of that big stage and being like that performer almost, and then doing these intimate gigs?
There's such a difference.
Yeah, in a way, I feel like you're more connected to the crowd when you're intimate. Sometimes they can feel so far if you're like up on this crazy stage or whatever. But I think the same sentiment is still there. Like you still want to connect with every single person in the crowd. But I think when it's more intimate and closer, like literally physically closer, then you've got that deeper connection.
Yeah, it's more like as one. It's when we did this show in Prague, and it was a really giant stage, and you just look out and you just see like phone lights, and people look like ants. Like it's crazy. It's so totally different, and you don't feel as connected. But it's like these intimate things. They're like everyone's together. It's like everyone's sweaty. Everyone's like you can tell that they love the music and they're here for the music. Like we do a lot of shows in America, and I remember we did one recently in LA, and it was good, but then we did like an after hours one in Canada the next day, and it was like everyone was really there for the love of music, not because it was this at this venue. It was like, we love the music and we want to like dance basically, and you really feel the difference.
And would you say there's like more of that coming through in Dubai? And like if someone was to look at Dubai on Instagram, for example, they have this like kind of pretentious idea of it's all a show. And that obviously exists here. You know, definitely exists here. Would you say that this is kind of what's coming through now more in more recent years, or has it always been
here? Slightly. I think the brand that we're working with,
Plus One.
Sorry, Plus One. They're doing like a weekly party at this venue, which is all about the underground and bringing it back to the music. So I think the focus and the platform that they're doing, that allowing us to have our event with them as well, is kind of bringing that through a bit more. There are really small events around Dubai that have that, but I mean, predominantly it is about
who's got the most
show,
money,
kind of thing.
Like
still.
the acts, isn't it? It's about like the giant DJs that are here every week, and it's amazing if you want to go and see those. I think the underground scene has always been here, but like now more than ever, it's more about the music, and people are just sick of like doing the entry to these big places, like when actually all your mates are going to a more intimate club and you get to like catch up with people. And Dubai's great because it can make it whatever you want it to be. If you want to go and do yoga every day and go and do retreats, then you can do that. And if you want to go and party 7 days a week, and you can do that. Like, you can do so many things, which is why I love it so much. And it's just the same with the music industry, I think, here.
Yeah. And so you guys are both based here for like most of the year. What's that like, living in Dubai?
So we're here, basically, we leave around May time to go do Europe, like summer, basically. But living in Dubai is great. I think for me, it's like the safety aspect of it is amazing. Like, I can just go out of my house and walk around and not have to worry about anything. Which is slightly different to the UK.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. I mean, like when you wake up to sunshine every day, it's always going to be really beautiful. It is a little bit of a bubble, like a little Peter Pan bubble sometimes. Like, it's like Neverland, like it's all sunshine and things like that. But it is a good way of living. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I just think that's what you said, the main thing, like waking up to blue sky every day. Like, I just don't even know the state of my mind if I lived in the UK where it's like grey in the winter. Yeah. And like, we get to travel so much that like, yeah, we live here, but it's our base. But like, we're always in and out. Like, we're always going to different countries, and especially in the summer, like being based in Europe, we get that really nice side of Europe. But it's always like the grass is greener, isn't it? Like, if you lived in the UK in the winter, you'd want to be here in the winter. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know, I think the freedom and the quality of life here is really nice. And I think you can get a good mix, especially that we're so lucky we're travelling so much.
And what do you think about the state of the UK in general?
I think it's really sad. Like, every week there's a nightclub that's closing.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like so heartbreaking because, like, I don't know what I'm going to sound really old, the younger generation now, like, where are they going to go? Like, for me, growing up through the UK club scene was like my life. Like, every weekend I'd be out or there'd be like some event or whatever, and I loved it. And that, like, everything's shutting down now. Like, I know that the festivals are shutting down as well, which is really sad. And I don't know what's going to come from that.
I also think, like, it's crazy because, you know, when we were younger, we were sitting in a field drinking a bottle of vodka, or like nicking our mum's vodka, or, you know, white, what's it called? What's that one? White something? In the big bottle? White. Not White Claw. You know what I mean. White Lightning.
I'm just thinking of Glen.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Glen's for me.
But like we were doing that, and like we were going out. But like now the younger generation, they're not drinking as much, which is great for the health. But like the whole thing has totally changed, hasn't it? 'Cause it's going around. So I don't know. Like, how it's going to really affect anything. But the UK like Dubai, you leave your laptop on a table and you go for a walk for half an hour and you come back and no one's nicked anything. Like, but in London, like I remember I was there in the summer, we were there and I was like, had my bag on a table and like this guy told me like 4 times to take it off the table and I was sitting at a restaurant and it's like just mental, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, from working, like my business is in nightlife festivals and events, and every other week there is stabbing or something that happens.
As well, like
yeah.
I mean, that comes with the nature of like nightclubs and dance music and all of that stuff, and that's fine if treated like responsibly and respectfully, blah blah blah. Dubai, you don't have that. So that's also very different. Like when we started, sorry, I'm going off tangent, but when we started playing Ibiza, it's so different because so many people are like on drugs. So the dance was different because they're a bit more like mongy or a bit more like that. But I don't know, the UK is just a bit screwed, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's tough with do you guys do a lot of festivals in the UK? Or yeah. What ones do you do?
We did Forbidden Forest last year. We did... we did Beats for Love. That was in Prague. Right. That was a big one. God, I don't know. We've done so many things.
Like the UK festivals, I think, are the best festivals.
Insane.
That's the
so
thing.
Great. Yeah.
Like they hands down smash all these other festivals just because of the UK crowd. And I think, we're going to Glastonbury this year.
Are you?
Yeah, we got tickets.
Amazing.
Sorry, just
buzzing, first time.
But that's why it's so sad because like the crowds are so good and they're so raw and like gritty and they just want to be there. And the fact that it's all closing down is actually so sad.
Yeah, and it's supply chains. Like a lot of it on the floor. Like I think when you speak to consumers or customers, they're like, oh, this festival must be making loads of money. It's packed out. It's sold out, all this stuff. But it's not making money on paper because the supply chains are ridiculous.
I know.
And have you seen that from like an artist perspective? Like what do you feel about artist fees and how this is in the industry?
Well, that's hard for us to comment on really because we're like growing, like coming up. So but you have like noticed, like, I mean, just it's business, isn't it? People try and squeeze you for however they can. And at the end of the day, you want to do the show or you don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah, because we're not like at the peak of earning right now because we're still growing.
Yeah, of course.
But I know that some of these DJs, when they come to Dubai, they get paid a hell of a lot more than they would anywhere else.
Yeah, like 10 times more.
Yeah.
And it's called the Dubai tax. Like all the agents like add on. But that also takes the piss as well because I think that does then destroy the music industry in Dubai slightly when they do that because then it's just kind of like this battle and I don't know.
They're just coming here to get paid really rather than actually
for the scene, which
for the
is
show.
Yeah.
And so I guess how does that impact the rest of the world, right? Because wouldn't they do more shows here because the money's more rather than going elsewhere?
Yeah, but then again, then it's the crowd thing. Like then that's when you get the showy crowds and stuff here because it is all about the money in the show and to be at the show rather than to be listening to the music. So I think it's kind of a catch-22 situation. Like obviously they want to be here and earn the money, but then they want a good crowd as well.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
I think also like when we meet people and they're like, oh yeah, you guys live in Dubai, like how's that? Isn't it like bottle service and the club's a bottle and all this stuff? Like I think they're actually also not educated about the clubs here as well because there is a huge side which is like bottle service, but there is like a giant side which is like not, you know, and some of the venues here are unreal. And so if the DJs actually did know that, and then I think they would be more picky about where they were playing and then have a better experience and then the scene would come up quicker. Yeah. You know?
And what's it like in America? Because you guys have just started to do stuff. Was it last year or?
Yeah, we got our visa.
We got our visa last
May.
Last summer?
April.
So is that the green card?
It's a 3-year working visa.
Yeah, kind of basically, yeah.
And how was that to get? That couldn't have been easy.
That was very stressful.
Something we don't want to talk about.
That was the most stressful time of my life, to be honest.
And also really funny as well, because when we enter, they're always like, what are you doing? When are you leaving? Blah, blah. And we're like, we're working with DJs and we're leaving tomorrow. And they're like, what? And they're like, can we like Spotify you or whatever? And it's a thing we looked forward to so much, and it was so annoying, the process to get the visa, that when we finally got it, it feels amazing.
Yeah. And so why did you do that and have stuff here and then back? Like, what's the reason behind doing that?
I think our agent suggested it because she said that like it's a good market for us over there.
It's our top two. It's our second top most listened to country on Spotify for our track.
So to forgive my ignorance, but to be a DJ there, you've got to have a visa of like for a few years.
Like a working visa.
Yeah. And they really like go into like all your numbers, who you are, like your like everything about, because it's taking like work away from other people in their own country. So to be like a touring DJ, you have to prove that people kind of want to come and listen to your music and all of that kind of stuff. So that was the process. It was like very fine of going through all of these numbers and with the government.
Yeah, you have to like prove your worth basically. Wow. And like for the interview process, we had to like be prepped. Our agent was like, basically big yourself up as much as you can. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do it. I hate that. She's like, no, but you have to. Like, you have to. Like, you've done this, and you've done this, and you've done this. Yeah.
Oh, like, wow. So it's like to actually get that credibility.
It's so intense.
Because you guys are excellent in what you do. And they have to, like,
essentially,
that.
It's called an alien visa.
An alien visa.
Yeah, an alien visa.
And it's like because of your excellence in your area of work.
Smashed it.
Yeah.
And you've got that, and you've also got an award recently.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Oh, that was a good one.
We actually thought it was a scam.
We did think it was a scam.
You guys are so humble.
We got, I think it was an email or a DM or something, and it was like, oh, will you be at ADE, Amsterdam Dance Event?
Yeah.
We've got an award for you. We were like, huh? What do you mean? And then we looked into it, and we actually won Future of Dance 2024.
And we got a real award, like when we
proper heavy award.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We went to the award ceremony and we were like, what? It was like a giant award, really heavy in its box, and we like had photos and stuff, and we were like, wow, this is cool.
Surreal.
Yeah.
We were so lucky. There's only 100 people.
Wow. And what does that award mean in the industry?
Essentially, we are ones to look out for, I guess.
Yeah. Like you're like upcoming.
Yeah,
producers.
up and coming. You've kind of made an impact in the industry, like
the
quite
next
early
wave.
on. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And what are events like that to go to and like receive awards like that?
It's just like feels a bit surreal, isn't it? Because we just didn't realise how serious and like how far this would go, and like now we go and like a lot of our friends are there and we know people in the industry, and like it's so nice to connect, and they know you and you know them, and it's like just like catching up at those events like ADE or Miami Music Week. Like you party together and you catch each other up, and then people can connect you and you can connect them, and it's just like it's just nice to like be invited, and to win something is crazy when we're so early on. It's like a huge thing that we've done.
And would you say that networking and connecting has been key to your success and progression?
It definitely helps because it puts you in front of people that you wouldn't usually be in front of.
Yeah.
If you were just DJing sort of in a club or whatever. I think so. It definitely is beneficial to go to these kind of things like ADE or what was the one that was just here? IMS,
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the first year.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Also, just think like people want to help people that they like and like that have relationships with you. Like you're more likely to help your mate if you can than like some random person that you received an email from. And it's about like putting your faces, like your face to the name, and not even just for us but for everybody else. Like A&Rs or labels and stuff, it's like nice to have these like connections. And even if it's not about like wanting something from it, but it's just about like connecting people. And if people need like a songwriter and you know a good one, like share it. And that's how this industry like works. It is small, and like people, you know, if you piss someone off, you like someone, if they're going to talk shit about you or whatever, like that's not going to help either. So it's just about like, we just like show up as ourselves, and just, that's all we can do.
Reputation matters, I think, particularly in this industry, right? It's so relational.
It does matter, yeah.
And so what's next for you guys? Do you have like this 5-year plan of where Jen and Alfie are going to be, or do you kind of go with the flow type vibe?
I think we have like a sort of plan for the year, I guess. Yeah. And we have this event thing that we're starting, and we've got the music that we want and the labels we want it to go to. But yeah, we kind of do it sort of like a 12-month thing, and then our agent also does it in terms of putting us sort of in America for this month or for here, or then we've got the summer of Europe. So we do kind of have a semi-plan as to what we want to do.
Yeah, we did a goal sheet. Like all of the festivals we want to do, labels, artists, like we did that at the end of 2024. So that's like our thing. And then we actually do record a podcast every year and talk, like listen to it first, and then say what we want to manifest the next year. And we haven't shared that with anyone yet, but we hope in the future that we like listen to it and be like, wow, that's fucking mental that we did all that stuff, you know?
Yeah. And I think it's good to do it year by year, isn't it? Because things change in every industry.
Big things coming.
Pop up. Yeah. I love it. And so how can people stay connected with you? Maybe if they want to see some of your shows, listen to some of your music, what's the best way?
I think the best way is just follow us on Instagram at Jen and Alfie, Jen with 2 N's. And we basically put everything on there.
Amazing.
Pretty much.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Nice to meet you.